I'll deal with the obvious, minute details at first. So, on one of Charlamagne's Brilliant Idiots, that's his podcast, on one of his episodes recently, they were talking about
Schultz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots podcast.
Okay, they were talking about the Jay-Z interview. And in talking about the Jay-Z interview, they were talking about Jay-Z's thoughts on rap battles, how it has affected people, and Jay-Z even expounded the thought to say, yo, I think rap battles should be cooked at this point. Like, it's just too crazy, right? Charlamagne gave his opinion, and in giving his opinion, he used an example of Meek Mill who battled with Drake. And he's trying to kind of like make a point of, well, when Meek battled with Drake, the reason why the outcome was so profound and things for Meek looked a little bit different were because of these reasons. And he gives a bunch of reasons. Meek subsequently responds to this, and he's actually really upset. I ain't gonna lie, it was one of the first time I'm like, yo, Meek's mad at somebody in the media, it's not me. Because, you know, Meek usually just wait. He was like a snapping turtle when it came to Meek. However, let me try to play it. I want to play it in context a bit. We're on a stream, right? If you guys want to clip it up in short pieces, you can. But I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt to understand context. That's why I do streams, not 2-minute videos. But let's try to listen to the conversation a little bit. Then we'll get to what Meek said.
Change how they think
It's
about
a 1A, 1B, guys. Like, stop. Kendrick is pretty
not
big, bro. Kendrick got a Pulitzer Prize.
Why you guys think I
Y'all got to stop.
Yo, my kids' lunchroom, they would all start singing.
Okay.
Like,
Pick a side.
well, I was on your side.
Yeah, I guess clearly.
But my position was I can't go out and buy Stillmatic or ask my parents to buy Stillmatic.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna borrow it and burn it because I can't deny one mic, you know?
Like, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But I ain't supporting them.
Word.
Yeah.
No, that's not the part. It's the one where he talks about.
Why do you make me?
It was like the conversation was, oh, he's doing this to cement his legacy as the greatest, and this is to slight LeBron and blah blah blah, right? Or
It's
when
fun. That's fun, but it's dumb.
Oh, sure, it's dumb. Or when LeBron did Space Jam 2, throw him off, they're gonna be looking at him like, no.
Okay,
Or than playing a 3 and you have at it as somebody who's.
The label.
No, I think the damage was done before that.
No,
Damage was
he
done
made it
Make it
worse.
ongoing, yeah.
He sued.
Okay. So they're kind of talking about the aftermath of Kendrick and Drake. Charlamagne's demeanor is, yo, Drake made it worse by suing this and third. Schultz disagrees.
Here on this podcast, told y'all he was going to sue in jest, sarcasm, sort of, kind of. When I'm right, it's not sarcasm. But so in jest, right? And he actually did. That is what made it worse. All of the things that have been happening after the fact, all of the Drake fan pages who still can't get over the fact that he just lost the rap battle. So they're constantly digging up stuff, constantly trying to find stuff, constantly trying to, rewrite history just because your guy lost a rap battle. Drake kept this going in a way that we've never seen before.
Okay.
None of us, we've never seen somebody sue after losing a rap battle.
Right.
That's what makes this seem nastier than what it is. Like, we've seen people get called wild things in rap battles before. Like we've seen people say, I fucked your baby mom and this person fucked your wife. And all. We've seen all of that before.
Right.
We've never seen nobody sue.
That's true.
Drake made it worse. Drake and Kendrick battle is not only the greatest rap battle of all time, it's the most unique rap battle of all time. We never saw anything like this. We never saw somebody like Kendrick. We said, who said it earlier? To the victor go to spoils. You said that, Chris? We've never seen anybody get a victory lap like Kendrick.
Okay. All right, we kind of get.
This is never gonna happen again. Even when not, think about it.
Of course something like this will happen again. Come on.
I don't know. And I'll tell you, because of the players.
This is an improvement in some ways.
Yeah, that's what
Why,
I'm saying.
nobody got hurt?
The biggest rap battle is Tupac versus Biggie. You saw how that ended.
Yeah.
Tupac versus Biggie was the last time, in my mind. But you can't even say that because Biggie didn't engage. But Biggie didn't engage.
He said that wasn't supposed to
He
be
didn't engage.
Who shot you is a subliminal.
I don't know. Everybody says Who Shot You was recorded way before.
Exactly.
I don't know. But my point is, Biggie didn't really engage directly. But as far as artist-wise, man, Pac was a way bigger artist than Big, yo. I know it don't seem like that.
He was.
No, he was.
Pac was a way bigger artist than Big. At
was
the
in
time when
movies.
Jay-Z and Nas went at each other, Jay was a way bigger artist than Nas, y'all. When Drake went at Meek, Drake was a way bigger artist than Meek. So it was easier for those battles just to keep moving because there's nothing but upside. Nas, you win with Ether, right? Even though I think Takeover's a better song, but Nas, you win with Ether. So it's nothing but upside for you, right?
Yeah, for the-
Sadly, Pac and Biggie got,
The smaller
got
guy
killed.
always has the upside.
Meek never. I don't know.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, like, Meek could have just kept doing music, but for some reason he didn't. Like, something was just off after the battle. You know what I mean? And he really, I mean, honestly, he didn't really
He never
recover.
recovered.
Yeah, it's
Well, he
strange.
lost-
Maybe he made a lot of money though.
He kind of recovered when he got with Nicki, and then it fell off again.
No, they broke
No,
up
because
right after that.
I know, but he was like having songs out and everything.
You know what it was with Meek, man? Meek's Achilles heel to me was actually Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
And when Drake called him Twitter fingers, no, what did he say? What was it? Was it Twitter fingers?
yeah,
right?
Twitter fingers.
When he called him Twitter fingers,
Trigger finger turn to Twitter.
Twitter
finger.
trigger
Yeah.
fingers turn to Twitter fingers, and it's just like every time Meek
He
tweets,
tweets.
even
It's
now
crazy,
to
bro.
this day.
It's crazy. It's pure
And
entertainment.
I fuck with Meek. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Like I think Meek does a lot for his community. You know, he's been a great, symbol for the city of Philly. I love what he does with reform, but I probably would have deleted my Twitter after Twitter fingers, yo. And just flooded the
forgetting
streets
the-
with nothing but music.
You're forgetting the Diddy stuff too.
guys, we're insane to talk every week.
What?
We're
Right.
insane to talk every
But
week.
we're podcasters.
But we're podcasters. Twitter, only Elon makes money. You know what I mean? Like you could do the same talking and tweeting you could do in bars. You could just rap. You could just do it. It's a kind of crazy thing that people are actively still talking
Yeah, man.
at that level.
Meek should have double, tripled down on just rap.
Just rap.
Like, cause he's nice. Like, just flood the streets with music. Let social media talk. Let them be crazy.
And you
get off Twitter. Just give them music and keep
You
doing your
created a
community work.
song also that like Philly will play for decades.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like they'll play that literally for decades.
Dreams and Nightmares is like PSA level at this point.
Yeah, I imagine for Philly.
No, for the world.
No, of course the world, but also the world also has PSA. Like the way that.
I've seen Dreams and Nightmares in another country. It's the same.
No,
effect.
I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just trying to say like the emotional connection we have for
Okay.
PSA.
All right, interesting. Again, I really have like a little left field thought about all this. Let me just play what or not play. I gotta read it. Fuck. So Meek Mill actually made a post. Did he delete it? No, he didn't. So he put that up and he says, yo, so I want to make this a main post to highlight the real propaganda that's taking place in the hip hop community. I need everyone to leave a comment if you see what's happening and how they're trying to downgrade artist brand from feeding their family. Let's go through it. The white comedian also boosted, what? The white comedian also boosted, didn't rumor, what? On his, oh my God. Yo, why doesn't make a video message, bro? Like, the white comedian also boosted, didn't rumor on his major platform with no evidence and asked me to go on the show. Can y'all see my brand back heating up now? Please leave an honest comment. Since Drake beef, I dropped Tap 3 times platinum. Peter, double platinum. Blue Notes 1 and 2, platinum. Uptown Vibes with Legend from Brooklyn, Fab, platinum. What's Free featuring Jay-Z, Meek Mill. I think it's platinum. Fuck On Me featuring Cardi, platinum. Scarface with Rick Ross, gold independent money. Respect the Game, platinum. 24/7 double platinum. Dangerous, platinum or double. I don't collect plaques, LOL. Championships albums like double plat. Expensive Pain. It wasn't marketed correctly, leaving labels. Cybertruck, 5 a.m. in Philly. Look how far we came. He actually switched up on Drake. What the fuck is this? He actually switched up on Drake because he helped power the Meek was done narrative. Now he's using the same against Drake. I'm good with Drake and Jay-Z as far as I know. Keep me out this weak ass shit. I had a meeting with the 16s. Found a lot of new tech deals and activations from just playing around and tweeting. I forgot Proud of Me, almost platinum, 1942 flows, platinum, whatever you need, platinum, check platinum. What the fuck? What the fuck he talking about? We got to keep a close eye on this cat. I feel like he in the closet. He a gay man that hates successful black men unless he doing business with them. But they promoted I'm gay. And I'm powering, helping pop like 10 artists off on the East, no cash gain for charity. I'm really the one. But it's some real propaganda on my brand and I want it to be investigated. The Diddy shit wasn't normal. I'm a real trench baby. Earned a plate in front of the world. I'd rather die than disrespect what I put blood, sweat, and tears I put in my concerts jumping. I felt blackballed for a minute. I believe in God. I get what I want. Okay. That was hard to get through, chat. That was hard. He also had another comment on his own post. This comment said, and it's amazing I'm the only rapper with the foundation that raised over 50 million changing laws and helping restructure the probation system with a big gay campaign on him. And campaigns, he tweet too much. That's all algorithm speech. Never let them silence you. It can't affect me. I'm the one. But y'all know that. All right. Oh, boy. All right. So let me break down what I think is happening here. I would love to know what Meek and Jay-Z's relationship is. That's number one. I know you're going to say what? To me, this read like Meek was saying that Charlamagne was a mouthpiece for propaganda. By the way, I've realized, and I don't know if you guys noticed, remember a couple weeks ago we were watching Charlamagne, who was saying, oh, there's right-wing bot pages and whatever, and it's all going to come out in due time. Just for Jay-Z to come do an interview and he's saying the same thing. Sometimes they say two geniuses might have the same opinion. Or they basically said the same thing. Which, ironically, Charlamagne and Jay-Z said the same things just weeks apart. However, when Charlamagne is speaking about, Meek Mill and, what happened to Meek, he blames Meek for not recovering. Yet when he talks about Drake and Kendrick and why the atmosphere is so negative, because Jay also talked about that, he blamed fan pages and bots, essentially. I wonder, we all do know that Meek is the first one who said fan pages and bots, right? Remember I told you, the nigga told me that Drake is paying for L's on his page. Now, granted, what do I think? I think Drake has a really huge fan base. And I'm going to get down and we're going to break down all of why I think things don't look the same for Meek anymore. Ever since we've gotten to this fandom era, and the fandom era started way before people think. I want to say 2007? Beefing isn't there was always a victor and a loser. And here's the problem with beef. You isolate your fans. A big Dirk fan don't listen to Youngboy. A big Youngboy fan don't listen to Dirk. There's very few people who are just casuals listen to both. I felt like Meek had street fans, but he also had pop fans and mainstream fans, and that beef turned him off. Now, this is why, and you might say, well, why did I evoke Jay-Z in this conversation? Because I'm not understanding why Charlamagne is giving this current climate the benefit of the doubt by saying, and I'm quote unquote benefit of the doubt, by saying this is all bots now. And no, Drake has the biggest fan base in music. If you diss him, it's like dissing the fucking Navy, which is Rihanna's fan base, or dissing the Barbs. It's never going to be cool. Cardi B still battling with them motherfuckers. Any artist who goes against Nicki's battle, that's what happens after you've entered the fandom era. So the idea that he's saying Meek just gave up, Meek was back then saying it. Just that honestly, niggas who like Drake, stop listening to Meek. Honestly, it was just one of those. Was he rapping? Was he putting out good stuff? Yeah, of course he was. But you know, sometimes rappers really think it's. I always tell y'all, sometimes rappers, they market the facade more than the skills. You could skillfully be able to rap, do all this stuff. If we don't believe you, nigga, an image is really important to a rapper. If we don't believe you, who gives a fuck? So this idea that, you know, everybody keeps saying this thing with me, man, but he was rapping. The barometer or the reason why fans like you is not because you're just putting out effort. They got to believe you. They got to want to root for you. You got to embody them. Likability matters. These are intangible things that are beyond music. When niggas like you, whatever you do is excusable or they want to support more. When they don't like you, they don't even hear it. There's a part, and you know, I wouldn't necessarily call it blackball because Meek Mill was on a major label. He was signed to Rock Nation at a point for management, and he was on Atlantic. How are you getting blackballed? No, we can't use blackball with everything. How are you getting blackballed? You have every resource at your disposal. What happened was the money and resources of the labels in Rock Nation wasn't strong enough. I'm sorry to say to anybody, you went up against the biggest rapper, probably, shit, I still think Drake's in his peak, but his peak, he hit his peak first back then. So anyway, I thought it was very interesting in this rant where he says, I got no problem with Jay-Z or Drake from what I know. That was interesting to me. Not too sure why he said that. Where is it at? He says, I'm good with Drake and Jay-Z as far as I know. I think it's something he's not going to say. I've been peeping it for a while. Meek leaves Rock Nation. Remember, this is supposed to be everybody's in reform. We're marching with reform. Everything's cool. Dream Chaser Records is over there. Dream Chaser Records exits Rock Nation. He's no longer managed by Rock Nation. We don't really get an explanation, not that we necessarily need it. But I start seeing some things with Meek on Twitter. It feels like he's taking shots. I don't know. I'm open to be wrong. I'm speculating. He kept saying he would big up like these other billionaires or like other people he's meeting, and he'd be like, yeah, an OG that will show us shit. And I was like, I think that's what you're supposed to say about Jay. Like you were supposed to be the guy who was showing shit. What happened? We don't know what happened. I think there's something there. I'm just going to leave that there. It's no secret that, listen, there's a lot of people feeling that Charlemagne and Jay-Z, they're buddy-buddy. They're buddy-buddy. Jay-Z's going to go get motherfucking, here's another thing too. Why I think Jay-Z is involved in this. Because Meek then drops a video, and in the caption, he uses a Dame Dash, like colloquial, a Dame Dash phrase, a phrase that Dame Dash is using in an interview with Charlemagne where he's getting at Jay. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm cooking, I'm cooking. If I ain't cooking with no stove, let me know. Fell off. I built my family office. Who's the person that said family office? Last interview this year, Dame Dash went up to the Breakfast Club. Remember the interview before he went to the Breakfast Club? Charlemagne got the Rock Nation hat on. He mentions it a couple of times. Him and Charlemagne start going back and forth, but we get him saying, my family, I don't own anything. My family office does. Meek mentions it here. So Meek was signed to, had his whole label on Rock Nation, solidly leaves. And now, from what we're hearing, he's quoting Dame Dash. Okay. I built my family office, built it up of cultural currency. went independent, bought a new crib, put a studio in the jail. I was at last. I hired new agents, new team. I've been that nigga. Your favorite rapper will get crushed in a room with Philly rappers, and I'm one of them. This is very ironic for me because here's my theory. Let me lay it out. I would love to know what's going on with Meek and Jay. I think there's something there. I think Meek responds to Charlemagne in this way because I don't think Charlemagne was that unfair. I don't. But I think Meek think he's being a mouthpiece. It's the same way how Dame Dash responded to Steve Stout and he said, I think Steve Stout's being a mouthpiece. For who? Jay-Z. I'm telling y'all. So he posts a main page response with that. Now, I could give Meek slight credit. Meek is the first rapper in hip hop to ever mention bots. Let's be clear. I'm on the phone with his manager at the time, Coon Philly. They said when we go out in the streets, we're loved. When we open our comment section, all we see is L's. Something ain't right. Something is going on to turn people against me. Which is ironic that Charlemagne currently acknowledges that there is propaganda being spread through bots, but the first person who actually said that, he doesn't give that nigga no out. That nigga only fell off because lack of effort, whatever. But this new shit going on, all bots, propaganda, right wing. Interesting. I'm going to leave that in the air. I don't think I need to do much clarification. It's going to get figured out. Watch. Slowly. Watch. So, let's analyze Meek Mill. Now, me and Meek, we have no issues. I spoke to him at Cardi's concert backstage on FaceTime. We've had a bunch of we've had a bunch of interviews. Okay. We've had a bunch of not interviews. We've had a bunch of conversations on the phone. Never met in person, and we've never had an official sit down. Right? Sometimes it's just kind of like clearing the air, because at times it's gotten so tense. It's like, yo, I'm not a street dude, but I told you the most recent one. I was connected to him through an associate after I went to an event. Hip Hop Police pulled me to the side and said, hey, listen, you should probably let us know when you're coming in and out of town. Based on what we're seeing, there's some beefs. And apparently one of his affiliates didn't get in to the show because they're trying to make sure things doesn't happen. And they hit me up and they say, yo, it's fucking up our money, right? Like Hip Hop Police is on us because they think we're trying to do something to you, right? Whatever. So we talked. Regardless, I always I maintain frame and being able to give my opinion unimpeded. I don't want nobody to tell me what to say, how to feel, what to think. I might have biases at time, but I think those will be pretty much clear, and you should make your opinion for yourself. Like, if you think I'm being biased on a Drake topic, nah, that's because Drake is favorite. Okay, cool. But I'm not here really I don't have vitriol in how I go at rappers unless it gets personal. Like, I ain't gonna lie, the thing with me and Lil Baby is pretty personal. So when you hear anything from Lil Baby, I'll even tell y'all. It just ain't gonna look pretty. I'm sorry. But whatever. I digress. I want to break Meek's career down. And I had to go through that little disclaimer to tell you that I'm being honest, and this is honestly what it is. So what Charlemagne doesn't factor in, even though he's not entirely incorrect, is the sequence of things that happened in Meek Mill's career that actually have him currently in his now place. I think Meek did the 3 cardinal sins and did a 4th and a 5th to essentially commit what I would believe, or some may see as career suicide. I'm going to break each of them down. Well, I'll tell you all 5, and then I'll give you the timeline. Here's the cardinal sins if you want to have a career. Remember, I keep telling you, these rappers, they're so egotistical. They think because they have talent or they could rap, they're forever loved. Well, that's not how music goes. People get tired of you. People say you have the same flow. Music moves on. There's a new youth, new foundation. It happens. But these are the 5 things he did. Beef with the biggest rapper in the world. That should be a no-brainer, but that's one. Number 2, be seen as the villain after being in the relationship with the biggest female rapper. That's 2. If we're talking about fan bases, the Barbs and the Drake fans, you've kind of like eliminated about 65% of hip-hop fans. So you've cut half of the people who like you, and the way those fans are for those artists, they're avid and they're rabid. And if they feel like you broke Nicki's heart or did whatever to her or she don't like you for whatever reason, they won't fuck with you. It's a fact. Drake fans as well. Wartime is wartime. It's mad. Drake fans now, they may used to listen to Kendrick once in a while. They don't fuck with Kendrick right now. It's wartime. It is what it is. Now, this is going to, actually, I got 10 things, okay. These things, I'm not going to say it is in order, but I do want to just be honest. Number 3, beef with one of the most successful and the loudest voices in media. I tell every artist, don't beef with the media. If you hate him, ignore him. Any public beef with media will always shape how you look. Never do it. They'll still do it, even though I tell them, fine. 4, X.com/Twitter. Really, I should put this in a PR category. In every moment, to expose his own personality, his own, self, he's done it. He's taken control of used to be 140 characters and completely destroyed his reputation. From calling out Drake to saying certain stuff, speaking on things that didn't matter, overexposing himself. It's been absolutely atrocious to watch. And I know he keeps thinking it's about silencing. But I'll share a conversation. I try not to share a lot of my private conversations with these guys. But, 21 Savage is my friend. And I was arguing about the same point, about perception. We argue, just like in ideals. Like, we just argue, like, things. Because he was kind of trying to make a point, like, nah, my point is always rap or fans liking you is way more than music. I think it's a fallacy to think that someone isn't hot just off of their musical talent at the time. It's a culmination of things. How much people like you? Are they tired of you? Do they want to see you lose? It's a whole bunch of things. There's storylines going on. This is why us media people survive. Like, there's storylines constantly going. It's not just raw music. And there's no objective score. Everything is subjective. Yo, first day out is about to go through the fucking roof after you realize this nigga was on that shit. Yo, what? Yo, 30, pass me that Drake. Yo, give me them earrings, nigga. Like, yo, you gotta go. I can't wait to bump for first day out now. Like, that nigga was doing it now. It's not like he was, when I heard him say, man, I ain't shot nobody in 4 years. I ain't said a hit in 3. I'm like, oh yes. Now, shit, I'm imagining that nigga saying I ain't rob a nigga in 2 months. Why do I say that? The point is, it all matters how you perceive an artist and perceive music, other things that surround it. The moment you figure out a rapper is a cooperant or they're a fraud, if they make music that say the opposite, you fall back. Okay. So, Twitter, I believe, killed this perception. All right? There's a few other small things. I won't necessarily go about and claim that, for example, he beefed with the game. I don't think that did all of what it did. But there's a few things that I feel like Meek just, it was his career suicide. Of course, even, I'm still going to count as PR, the bunny hopping, all that type of stuff. That was the tail end. But we're going to go through his career